Zelensky answered, "We have occupied TikTok and the girl jokes, and they talk all about you. It's all about you."
It is.
But look at him, and this man has really risen up at a time when his country and people's lives are being torn apart, where he could have escaped and he could have had safe passage to America with his family and left this all behind, and yet he stays endangering his life every day, I believe, schooling everyone around the world, including the American people, on the preciousness and the beauty of democracy.
And of freedom. And John Heilemann, we've grown up reading about how FDR used the new technology of the radio, how Ronald Reagan in the 1950s realized the power of television. It elected a president in 1960, JFK. And here we have Zelensky, who is using all social media platforms, coming out with the pithy quotes, just like Churchill, that would fit the media of their time. Churchill, of course, famously used radio as well to guide Britain through 1940, the Battle of Britain. But Zelensky, we just haven't seen a leader like him in a generation, have we?
I don't think so, Joe. I think it's unprecedented in my career to have seen someone who's done what he's done. He's gone from being someone who, in a month, who no one, basically 99.99% of the world had no idea who he was, literally. Right. And the tiny percentage who knew who he was thought he was a clown, basically. Like the political, international, foreign policy cognoscenti kind of looked down on him. He's now, along with Joe Biden, everybody in the world knows who any American president is, and Vladimir Putin. He's now like one of the three most famous political people in the world. And I'm not using fame to denigrate. I'm just saying the rise in 4 weeks to that kind of ubiquity and status, and as Mika said, that the almost universal admiration to go from nowhere to being compared to Churchill and Roosevelt, as you are properly doing, Joe, it's just one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. And you must have the opportunity. Vladimir Putin, by being Darth Vader, made a world where there could be a Luke Skywalker on the global stage. But then you have to step into that role, and you can't diminish either one of those things. The stakes have to be high, the opportunity has to be there, and then you have to meet the moment. But I don't think that's all that it requires. I think after you've met the moment while you're doing it, which he is every day, with fortitude and bravery and perseverance and resilience and moral leadership, you also have to figure out a way to tell people about it, right? And I think the way in which this small team of mostly television producers who worked with him for years in Ukraine have fashioned the most sophisticated political communications operation I've ever seen in real time. Every single choice they've made has been brilliant and pitch perfect. And they have played it. They understand that in this world we now live in, this very complicated, fragmented media landscape we occupy, that you got to play it high and low. You got to play insurgent and establishment. You got to do the interview with Lester Holt, but you also got to be on TikTok. You got to be everywhere all at once. He's out there speaking English. He's speaking Russian. He's transmitting on Telegram all day long, messages to different audiences. And then this week, we saw him do this global tour for Hearts and Minds. The spring training games in Canada and the British Parliament, and then coming to the big stage of America. And again, with a perfectly executed 16-minute speech with video in the middle of it and a switch to English on the back end. I just don't think I've ever seen anything more masterful purely at the level of performance. Not just a performance, again, got to be a hero to look like a hero. But, man, he and his team have done an incredible job making the case for their people and using every media tool and understanding the world we now live in terms of media and digital technology, as well as anybody I think ever that we've ever seen.